Hi everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome to Random Hunts in Monster Hunter World. It is currently part 38 for my video series, and it is the, what is it actually? It's the 14th of February 2018, as I'm currently recording this. Let's go straight in here. I want to first and foremost show you where I'm at in the game, because I haven't actually given you a proper update on that since my last video, which of course was part 37 for this series, which I believe was recorded on the 7th of February 2018, so it has been exactly 7 days since then. How about that? Purely coincidental, I will tell you, but one thing that I would like to say is that I have done a decent amount of stuff since then. Not a huge amount, but enough to where it would actually warrant some kind of update on where I'm at, because, you know, I do want to, for the most part, keep you guys up to date on what I'm doing, because, you know, the game's still kind of new, so I think it's relevant. Whereas if this game were, like, say, 2 years old already, my personal progression probably wouldn't matter that much. But I do think that when it's in relation to the times, it does kind of matter. So I'll show you here, my hunter rank is 56. This armor set that I have here is not my only armor set, but it's one of the few armor sets that I do own in full, simply because this is the sort of game where you're really mix and matching armor pieces to get the overall skills that you want. Now, getting a little bit gassy there, because I did just eat. I don't need to be belching on camera, probably not the best thing, but I did avoid that scenario right there. But one thing that I would like to say first and foremost is that, well, more or less to continue on what I was just discussing before I had that moment, yes, I did indeed use lots of mixed and matched armor sets, or armor pieces, to form a full set of mixed armor in previous games, but in this game it's pretty much standard. Like, you have no real reason to use a full armor set in this game, in my opinion, unless you're going for aesthetic appeal. Now, this armor set that I'm using right here is purely for aesthetic purposes. I don't really think I'm going to find a use out of it. You can see this is just the armor set that I have. I haven't even touched any of the skills. I haven't really optimized it in any way, because I don't necessarily have any plans. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of look at the skills more specifically, like individually look at each skill, but I don't know if that's giving me the option to do that. I guess I can do it here, but anyway, here we go. This is what we wanted. So yeah, these are the skills that I have on it right now, and this is just the attack boost is purely from the charm that I currently have equipped, and you can see it has Thunder Attack, it has Awaken, / Ammo Up, which is an interesting skill. This is a strange skill, to be honest. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We have Marathon Runner as well, slows down stamina depletion for actions, which continuously drains stamina, which is interesting. That can be useful possibly for a bow set. But the problem is it does have Thunder Attack, and honestly, it comes natively with the armor set, so therefore I probably wouldn't really want to use it, because Thunder Attack feels like, if I don't have a Thunder weapon, then it's such a waste, so I would probably rather use an armor set that had a different skill to that, because it is level 3, it's not like a small deal. But anyway, so yeah, I do have a few more armor sets that are indeed optimized for more specific styles of play, whereas this one is more just for aesthetic appearances, for videos like these, where I'm kind of showcasing my character in a sense. And those armor sets are for general Blade Master weapons, such as the Longsword, the Switch Axe, the Dual Blades, weapons that don't necessarily need armor sets tailored directly towards the weapon type, at least in my opinion. You can always use things like Focus on long swords and dual blades, yes, but it's not necessarily required of you. It's not something that's done very often. One thing that I will say, however, is that there are definitely tailored armor sets for weapon types like the hammer, the greatsword, the gun lance. Weapon types like those are the more tailored sets. Now, I do have one for the greatsword, but that's all I have so far. Just a general Blade Master set, a greatsword set, with Focus of course, and thirdly just this armor set that I have here, which isn't really being used, once again, for any sort of questing purposes. Now, in addition to those two armor sets that I mentioned before, as well as this one, I do have a few more weapons than I did before. As you can see, I do have two long swords. I have the Nergigante long sword, the Teostra longsword, and I do have 2 new Rarity 8 greatswords as well. I have the Kushala Daora greatsword, which was very easy for me to make because I have been very lucky with my Kushala Daora pieces as of late. I have something within the region of 4 gems, and that's, I think after creating this I have 4 gems, something like that. I'm just swimming in Daora gems, and I don't really know why. I'm also swimming in Nergigante gems. But yeah, I do have the greatsword for Nergigante as well as the longsword, so yeah, I do have plenty of materials from Nergigante. And I did also fully upgrade the Zora Magdaros greatsword, as well as the poison and paralysis greatswords that I was leveling up from the beginning. Now, they're only at rarity 6 here, so I'm assuming that they will get a boost to, say, rarity 9 in G rank. Now, I have heard people talking about G rank as if it's a confirmed thing. I haven't seen it myself, that it has indeed been confirmed, but I'm just going to assume that it is going to be coming at some point. Now, I'm not hugely happy about that, but whatever. I guess we can look forward to more content, maybe new monsters as well that are G rank only. I think there's a fair chance of that. But either way, this may very well solve the issue that everyone has been having lately, and I'm going to get ready for a quest now because I think I've demonstrated everything I really wanted to demonstrate, apart from the armor set specifically. Here they are here, I'll show you the skills for both of them. Here we go. Enjoy. But anyway, so this should probably solve the issue when it comes to everyone complaining about the weapon designs. Now, I am also one of those people. I haven't been complaining about it a lot because a lot of other people have been doing that anyway, so I don't really feel the need to join the bandwagon, but that has been something that I've been thinking pretty much from the get-go as I was upgrading through the weapons, particularly into high rank, and I'm seeing that they're not really changing too much, or at least not as much as I would hope. Weapons to change as you upgrade them, visually speaking. And I think the reason why is because they're saving the really good designs, at least for some of the weapons, for G rank. Now, that's what I'm hoping. I'm fucking praying that that's the case. But anyway, like for instance, the well, some weapon types, they just seem a little bit lackluster, honestly. But anyway, there are also other issues, but I'm probably not going to delve into them too much. Once again, people have been talking about it at length lately. It's probably one of the biggest gripes that people have with the game, but it's a bit of a first world problem. Now, that's not entirely applicable to this situation here, but it puts across the idea that I'm trying to put across, as far as people just complaining about something that's probably not all that important in the grand scheme of things, or at the very least compared to what we could be having problems with at the moment in this game. It's not that important, really, because this is a great game in the end, but at the same time it is a bit of a shame. Now, this person's hunter rank 101. The highest hunter rank person that I'm kind of involved with is hunter rank 116, and he plays a bit too much, so yeah, there you go. I don't know what I want to hunt, actually, and I should re-initiate the search for SOS flares. Yeah, let's do Nergigante, why not? Haven't done a Nerg on camera for a while. I don't know why I didn't go to the Eastern camp, but I guess I didn't, and that's too bad. But anyway, I will be equipping the longsword. Is that what I will be doing? The Nergigante longsword, more specifically. Because I think Nergigante is indeed weak to Dragon. Now, we'll be able to check that if we go to our equipment box. Christ, can I look at... Here we go. So, what do we got? We have minus 16 Thunder, minus 14 Dragon. So that kind of gives me an idea as to which of these elements is going to be more effective against the Nergigante. Because, of course, these weapon pieces... Weapon pieces? The fuck? These armor pieces are created with Nergigante parts, so it does more or less reflect the same weaknesses as the monster itself. So this is primarily weak to Thunder, so if I have a decent Thunder weapon, do I? I don't think I do. I only have Thunder bows, unfortunately, so what I'll probably do is go for the secondary weakness, which is, of course, Dragon. That's what I'm going to do. So I will pay with points for the eating thing. I've got this freaking bug flying around in my room. It's a bit annoying. To be honest, it's been so hot as of late, I'm so sick of it. Of course, while you guys are kind of suffering in the cold, maybe some of you aren't suffering, but in some countries, yes, I'm sure you are suffering. Over here, we're suffering in the heat, because of course it is the southern hemisphere, so therefore the seasons are flipped, and we are currently having to deal with summer. What is going on here? I have something going on in my options. Has someone sent me a guild card? Yes, they have. Who has sent me a guild card? Some Japanese person. Why not? I will receive that. And that's the end of that. So I don't have too many standard potions here. I will mention that this armor set that I'm using right now does actually have speed eating. I have found speed eating to be extremely helpful in this game. Now, one person that I did speak to, a friend of mine named Ethan, he said that when it comes to speed eating, actually, speed Ethan, I think it was him who told me that, but when it comes to speed eating, he would prefer to gem in attack. For instance, like, you're generally gemming in speed eating, and that's 3 levels. That's 3 level 1 decos that you could be inserting into your set that could instead be giving you additional attack instead of, say, speed eating level 3. That could be 3 levels of attack, for instance. Now, I do agree with that to an extent, but the problem is that I can't give up speed eating. It's so useful. It really is just the most useful thing you can imagine, at least for me. Because at first, funnily enough, with the eating thing in this game, I wasn't opposed to it. Now, other people in the Teamwork Podcast Discord that I frequent, as of these days, they said that, well, one person that I was talking to was immediately opposed to the fact that, I guess, healing was now a slower process. It was almost like a heal over time. Why do I keep getting hit by this fucking tail? Honestly, this is the worst I've performed in a Nergigante hunt for quite some time. Probably too busy trying to coherently explain something here, but yeah, that person was immediately opposed to it when the game came out. Like, as soon as they started doing that, they were like, nah, this sucks. Whereas I was really down for it. I think the reason why was because it really felt very much in line with the feel of the game and how, I guess, the game had been progressing in terms of its gameplay. It felt smooth. That method of healing felt smooth, and I felt like the game as a whole was capitalizing on smoothness anyway. Like, it just felt like it was a part of the overall smoothness concept that the game was delivering as a Monster Hunter. And as a Monster Hunter game, that is. And I didn't really have an issue with it at that time. But then when I started using speed eating, and not necessarily when I got used to it, but rather, I mean, I kept on going back and forth between having speed eating and not having speed eating, and it was at that time that I realised, holy crap, the regular drinking/eating speed in this game is just horrendous. And I have decided that I would much prefer the classic style, where you're stuck in one place for a moment and you heal instantly with a little animation where you throw your arms up in the air. While I was not necessarily a fan of that when I was first getting into Monster Hunter during Freedom Unite, I didn't really take issue with it once I got used to it, because there was no need to take issue with it. I just got so used to it that it's not even an inconvenience anymore. Whereas now I feel like that would be better. That style of healing would be better than having to wait so long to have your health regenerate while being able to move. It's like, well, yeah, I'm able to move, but do I want to wait for so long to have my health regenerate? I want to be back in the fight. I don't want to be running around, like, healing for so long. So, speed eating really solves that issue, and you're back in the fight immediately. So I think in a strange way, the amount of damage you're going to be doing overall is slightly more than you would be if you didn't have speed eating, simply because you're back in the fight faster and you're dealing damage faster. So, yeah, I think that theory makes sense, but it's probably not going to line up so much with the overall damage increase you'd get with, say, an additional 3 levels of attack up. But it's just, you know, the level of convenience can't be ignored. If you haven't tried out speed eating level 3, try it out at least once, and you tell me how much better it is. It's very nice. Maybe you're not going to immediately notice the benefits of it, but once you're in the right situation, and you just pull out a Mega Potion and you heal all of that health almost instantaneously, while being able to move at the same time, you'll realise just how freaking great speed eating is. Now, I think plenty of people do realise how good speed eating is, and I think plenty of people are also including it on their armor sets, but like that one friend of mine, some people would also prefer to use those decoration slots for something perhaps a little bit more, I guess, damage dealing than speed eating. Something a bit more optimised to deal more damage or do something more to the monster. But really, speed eating just feels so much nicer, and I don't have it on all of my sets, I will mention. I don't have it on my greatsword set, and I'm not necessarily going to make it a staple of all of the armor sets that I make from now on. It's just a part of my, what I have referred to as my generic Blade Master set. That is what I have named this particular loadout. It just works as a general... I mean, maybe generic isn't the word that I'm looking for. I think it's more of a general armor set just for something that can work with basic weapons like the long sword, the dual blades, the sword and shield even. Things like that. The wind outside is picking up, strangely enough. Anyway, we managed to kill the Nergigante before he could leave. That was a reasonable time, I guess. 2 people there doing the thumbs up sticker. That was kind of funny. I guess that's popular in Japan, but anyway. Going to carve the tail. Is that a single carve? Yes, it is. But as I have said, I do have plenty of materials from Nergigante. I just decided that I would fight him. It was either him or a Teostra based on the investigations that I had available to me at the moment when I searched for them. And I thought, yeah, Nergigante is a fun enough fight, so that's what I'm doing. A lot of people have actually been soloing Nergigante with various weapons in this game. You can really get out a decent amount of damage if you do the right stuff. Now, this thing here in particular is what people use to do a lot of damage, depending. Like, for instance, if you're using the bow and you do that, you can jump off and do some pretty crazy damage. It's just the nature of this game is that there are a lot of things that you can abuse to do, or rather deal, huge amounts of damage if you do it right, and it does take a little bit of skill, but the knowledge of it is probably the biggest aspect of it. If you experiment enough with various fights and you try and find these little things that help you deal more damage, you'll be smashing the monsters in no time. And you're pretty much doing speedrun hunts against these monsters. It's quite a popular thing at the moment, especially in the Japanese community from what I've been able to tell. But, yeah, that was a Gold Crown Smallest. That was very nice. Managed to get that on camera too, there you go. Either way, I didn't really get anything of particular interest in that hunt. Of course, the one thing of particular interest that I'm referring to is a gem. There isn't really too much else that I was thinking of when I said that. I should try to be a little bit less vague with what I'm referring to, but anyway. I think that's something within the region of 16 minutes on camera there for this recording, so that's pretty reasonable. Maybe I'll make this a little bit of a longer video this time. I'll try and squeeze in one more hunt, because I feel like that's not really long enough. I know, like, part 36 was not very long. It was something like 13 minutes. That's a one-off. I'm not going to try and make that a common occurrence. I don't really want that to be happening very often. Hope you guys can't hear the wind outside. It's actually quite loud at the moment. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next hunt that I end up in. And I'm back. Oh, that was a bit of a... the game froze there for a moment. But anyway, where am I? Okay. In some kind of, I guess, underground area within the Elder's Recess. Is it Elder Recess or Elder's Recess? This is not the first time I've actually asked this question. I think I asked this question in part 38, which was... No, this is part 38. Part 37 I asked the question. But either way, I am currently using my greatsword set just to kind of demonstrate my other armor set here. These are the skills. It does not actually have any... Oh, there's Basil. Let's look out. Or let's be wary of him, rather. But, yeah, it has evade extender. It doesn't have any, whatchamacallit, speed eating, which isn't really a huge problem. But the evade extender, funnily enough, while that might seem like a bit of a random skill to have on a greatsword set, it actually really does help in this game, because with the greatsword, I'm going to demonstrate something to you shortly here. So, I didn't necessarily do that in the right spot. Now, I'm going to roll forwards here and do this. See this? That right there. And I didn't go into the full charge because I didn't really like my position there in relation to the Uragaan's chin, and I would have gotten smashed in the face had I gone ahead with that, I think. But that right there is an example of a really good attack that you can do, and when you have a evade extender, that makes doing that attack even easier, because you can get on target with the monster without any problems. Now, I was actually quite lucky in the way that I got hit away by that exploding rock. Now, I hope you can't speak, but anyway, I'm using a poison greatsword, by the way. Now, I hope that the wind outside isn't getting into the microphone at all. If it is, I don't care. You know why? Because whenever I've been recording lately, I've been closing the windows, and I'm done with that. At least during the night, I'm done with that. I have to do it during the day because I guess the loudness of the cicadas is not really something that I can have getting into the microphone, because I can't actually... Ooh, there's Basil. I can't actually... How do I say? Remove that background noise. It's just so loud that I can't do it. There's a point where if the background noise is loud enough, you just can't get rid of it, because the volume of it blends in with your actual vocal commentary, and it just sounds like shit if you're trying to get rid of it. It like cuts in and out, the background noise, and it sounds all wrong, and it bothers me a lot. But, yeah, essentially, it's so freaking hot that I have to leave the window open. I have to let the breeze in. If there's a bit of windy background noise, it doesn't really concern me. If it bothers you in any way, then I could care less. Well, I couldn't care less, rather. And it just, yeah, it's really quite funny to think how hot it gets in my room when I actually have the windows closed. It doesn't really make for good commentary, because I'm usually quite literally hot and bothered. So, yeah, I really don't want that at this stage. I've done a few attempts at doing Part 38, actually, for the Random Hunt series in World, and all of them have come across as rather bitter, for various reasons. And in the end, I think it can all be chalked up to the fact that I'm sitting in a hot room, suffocating in the middle of the day. It's quite unpleasant, but anyway. It's nice and cool at the moment. Well, as cool as it has been in recent days. It's still rather high as far as the humidity is concerned. But there is a cool breeze outside, and it is getting into the room, which helps a lot. That thing's exploding in my face, not particularly what I wanted. I do have a setting turned off, which is the radial menu. I think it's type 3 for item usage. I think there's like different control types. Number 3 for item usage is what allows you to get rid of the radial menu. I'm not in any way interested in the radial menu, mainly because I can't actually change the perspective of the what's with this "the" thing? I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, it does not allow me to change the perspective of the camera when I have the L1 button held to scroll through the items. It instead goes and selects some shit on the radial menu, and I don't appreciate that. Not even remotely do I appreciate that. Bothers the living shit out of me. But anyway, it's for that reason that I do have the radial menu turned off, and it is for that reason that I have no interest in getting used to the radial menu, because it's sacrificing my ability to look around in the frickin' area. So yeah, that's just how it is. Now I'm currently using this poison greatsword, of course, because the Uragaan is weak to poison, always has been. At least I would assume it's still weak to poison. I would hope it's still weak to poison. If not, then I guess I'm not being quite as effective right now as I could be. But anyway, I would imagine that Uragaan is still weak to poison. But yeah, it was either this or the Nergigante greatsword, and I decided, well, you know what? It's probably better to go with this thing, because I did go with the Nergigante longsword in the previous hunt. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Uragaan is rolling around a lot here, and it's kind of annoying me, to be honest with you. I have to say, it's quite interesting that it's not, like, when the tail is cut, it's not just flat anymore. There's actually, like, a concave frickin' wound, I guess you could say. And then the actual severed tail has this convex protrusion of flesh, and I'll show you it. It's quite interesting. Actually, I won't do that, because I need to go and hit the Uragaan while he is weak. What happened there? Why would you mount then, of all times? Why do you do these things? Sometimes I wonder about people. I'm not going to make it with this hit. Oh no, he turned around to face me. Still missed, unfortunately. But that attack that I did right there, see how I was able to advance forward there? Now, that probably didn't look like I advanced forward very far at all, but keep in mind that I actually have evade distance level 2. So if I didn't have that skill, I would have hardly advanced forward at all. So it's actually quite benefiting when it comes to the gameplay itself. So here we go again. No, go into the charge, please. Fuck me dead. Anyway, whatever. Now we'll go into the heavy slam. No, not gonna. Oh no, I thought he was going for a roll there, but he did not do such a thing, fortunately. All right, I haven't really fought much Uragaan at all in this game. He was never really a requirement for me, and everyone was saying how awful he was in this game. like everyone's least favourite monster, not because he was hard, but because he just sucked. Everyone said he sucked. And I don't know why. I'm seeing a regular Uragaan right now. I don't know why everyone hates him, but everyone hates him. Whereas everyone loves the Radoban. Radoban is very popular when it comes to the hunters in this game, I have found. Uragaan, however, is not even remotely popular. Look how long it takes to carve one fucking item off that tail. It's like so much carving, not much acquiring. Ooh, items. You can see that protrusion there of flesh on the tail. It's quite interesting, and I suppose it's a bit more realistic. I can tell you one thing, it looks a lot more gross, at the very least. Didn't end up getting a gem. Don't really know if I even want a gem, to be honest with you. I don't know. Not too sure. But anyway, that's about it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This has once again been part 38 for my Random Hunt series. And I will see you guys... That was an interesting name, Lizzie Thayer. That was not a bad name. But anyway, I will see you guys in part 39 for my video series. Don't know when I will be recording it. Probably won't be recording it now because as much as I do like to record stuff, I do also want to just play without recording and listen to stuff. Whether it be live streams, more specifically by Zarek Zahakaron, who is one of my favourite YouTubers and streamers. Or just listening to music, or talking to people on Discord, stuff like that. I don't always want to be recording while playing this game. Also, one thing that I will mention is that I will not be uploading multiple videos for this series in 1 week anymore. Because I can tell, based on the view counts of the previous 4 videos that I uploaded for this series, that you guys don't appreciate that even remotely. I don't know why you don't appreciate that, but you don't. And in the past, when I have uploaded more than one video for the Random Hunt series, there was always one that didn't get any views. In this case, because I uploaded 4, none of them got many views, so basically you guys prefer it if I just upload 1 at a time, so that's what I'm going to do from now on. If I have like 3 videos ready to go, I'll just save them. I will upload 1 per week from now on, because, yeah, the viewer counts have spoken. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next video, and I thank you all for watching. Bye bye.